You're listening to the Wedding Biz Network, the voice of the creative entrepreneur. Hey everyone, it's Andy Kushner with The Wedding Biz, and today we have a very special episode. Before I introduce our special guest, I want to mention that last week we had on Ryan Hill, the founder and CEO of Apotheosis Events, a premier event planning firm located out of New York City. And today, this is a real fun interview in which you're going to hear about all the different elements of the wedding celebration of Daniela Braga, a highly successful Brazilian model based in New York City. She has done campaigns for Givenchy, Balmain, and Pantene, among others. Dani has graced the covers and editorials of Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Elle, V Magazine, Marie Claire, and Cosmopolitan in several countries, including the United States, Brazil, Italy, and France. And during her career, she has worked with several important photographers in the fashion industry. She has walked 4 times in a row in the Victoria's Secret fashion show. In 2018, she was casted for the TV show Model Squad on E! And aside from modeling, she is an ambassador for World of Children. I was really fortunate to meet her and her now husband, Adam Freede, in person because I produced the music for their wedding ceremony and reception featuring one of my bands, Sound Connection, at Amanera Resort in the Dominican Republic. So enjoy this conversation with Daniela Braga. Hey, Dani, so thank you so much for doing this interview. I'm excited about this.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
First, I want to ask, before we get into the details of your wedding, which I know everyone wants to hear about, how did you and Adam first meet?
That's a very cute story, actually. You have time because my stories are always very long.
That would be great, sure.
Yeah, so I met Adam everything happened. I had an ex-boyfriend. We were together at the time. So I went to upstate New York to this boutique hotel. It's called Glenmere Mansion. And then we went downstairs, and it's very small. It's probably like 10 rooms, right? So we went downstairs to have dinner, and then this lady was there with her boyfriend, and then she sat across me, and then she had this Gucci bag. It was beautiful. So I started looking at her and at the bag, and I couldn't stop staring at her. And then I started talking to my boyfriend at the time, like, oh my God, look at her bag. How beautiful. Like, should I try to take a picture? You think she's going to notice? And of course she's noticed. I was talking about her, and she's like, oh, hi, how are you? And then I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm talking about you, but it's just good things. I'm talking about your bag. I love your bag. So that night we ended up 2 hours, after 2 hours, I was sitting next to her. We had 2 bottles of wine. We were talking. So we became friends. So we exchanged contacts. So she lives between New York and LA. So every time she went to New York, she emailed me and my ex-boyfriend saying, let's catch up. Let's have dinner. So we started having dinner every time she went to New York. Then one day she's like, oh, I want to introduce you to my son. Because my ex-boyfriend, he had a tech company. So maybe her son would invest in my boyfriend's at the time, right? So she introduced us to her son. They end up not doing business. And, I didn't even pay attention. I literally just showed up for a few minutes because I was working. So I passed by, I had a drink, and then I left. I didn't even pay attention to her son because I was with the other guy. And, like another year probably passed by. That was over the course of 2 years. So another year passed by, and then we kept doing dinner and drinks until one day she's like, she emailed me, like, where's my favorite couple? I'm going to New York on Friday. Let's all have dinner. Then I reply, I say, we can all have dinner together, but I broke up with him. So she texted me in private and said, well, let's have girls' night. So from that moment, we started having girls' night. And then, a few months passed by again, and then she invited me to this charity event. It was actually 2 events back to back. One was for her company, and the other one was a charity event. So it was back to back. And then that day, he found out I was single because he asked,
right,
where's your boyfriend? And I was like, well, I actually broke up with him a few months ago, and I'm single. So that was when he found out. And then the next day at the charity event, he got my number, and that was when everything started.
Wow. So this is all because you were looking at a stranger's Gucci bag.
Exactly. And that was his mother, which we became friends first. Then later, after a year, I started dating her son.
Oh, that's incredible. Yeah.
4 years later, we married.
That's incredible. What a crazy story. I had no idea.
So crazy.
That is so funny. Yeah, it's amazing how things work out like that. It's just like the universe just kind of takes care of things,
It really is. Like, it was a very crazy story. Like, in everything that happened. So it was just like, because it was last minute that we decided to go upstate New York, and then I met her, and then honestly, I loved her. I was like, oh my God, this girl, this lady, she's so cool. And we became friends. And, I didn't even pay attention to her son when I met him the first time, because, I had a boyfriend.
Right.
And so basically, like a year after I met him, that was when we started talking. And 2 years after I met her.
Yeah. Incredible. I don't know that I've ever heard a story like that before.
Yeah. So, I always thank her for that. And I should have texted my ex-boyfriend saying, like, you know what? You introduced me to the man of my life.
Yeah, right. Right. That is so funny. Well, can you tell the story about how you became engaged? Is that a good story?
Oh my God. Yes. I'll tell you. It's another long story. Get used to my long stories. So Adam and I, we love to do date night because it's just like very intimate. We always, that's the night where we dress up. We don't touch our phones. We just talk. We play chess. We drink wine, and we talk a lot. So this is always perfect for me, right? So we always done like once or twice a month, or when we have time, 3 times a month. That day's just for the date night, for the couples night, right? So because of COVID, we couldn't go anywhere because there were no restaurants open or nowhere to go. So we started doing date night at home. So we dress up. We do exactly the same things. Like, we dress up. We were like ordering food, and we dress up. We, set on the dinner table. We put the music. We drink wine. So that was our thing last year.
Yeah.
During COVID.
Right.
So I remember there was a little time where in between, like in the middle of the year, I think at the end of the year, they opened a little bit. So I remember we went to Napa, and we had to wear masks and, do COVID tests. So I remember we went to Napa, and I love Napa because I love wine. So we were there, and then I told him, I was like, well, Adam, it's been a while. I call him Boo Boo.
Okay.
Well, I was like, Boo Boo, it's been a long time. We don't have a date night. Why don't you do a date night next week? So it was my idea of having a date night, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And he's like, oh, perfect. Let's do it. It's really been a long time. Let's do Friday. I'm working from home. I just stopped working earlier, and then we do our date night. So I was like, oh, perfect. So it was my idea, So we came back from Napa. We waited a week, and then on Friday comes. So, I do my whole routine. I do my nails. I do my face mask. And, I get in the mood. I put some music. So that's what happened. So we went up to the room. My house has 2 floors, right? So we went up to the room, and then we started playing chess. I brought my dog. We started drinking wine. I put some Amy Winehouse music, and then some trap music. So we play like few games. And I was like, okay, so we should get ready. And then he said, yeah, we should get ready. And then his cousin, which is Jacob, he married us because we love him so much. We invited him to marry us. So he was living with us at that time. And then I remember he came to the room because I was like, oh, I have to walk the dog. And then Adam was like, no, I walk the dog. So he came to the room to talk to me. He was like, I'm talking to this girl. And I just thought, was like, what do I have to do with this? You're talking to the girl. What? So weird. Anyway, Adam comes back. Then I was like, okay, I'm going to get ready. I'm going to shower, do my hair, do my makeup, and then I'll be ready in a little bit. And he was like, okay, I'm going to go downstairs. And I was like, okay, I won't take too long. It took me 1 hour. So I did a little makeup, hair, and then I got ready, and I was like, okay, I'm coming down. So as I walked down, and I had no clue. I didn't hear a thing. I had no idea of anything in my mind. We were playing chess and drinking wine,
Right.
and then I was blasting hip hop in the house.
Right.
So I walk out of the room, and then I look out downstairs, and I was so shocked. At that time, I was like, oh my God, what is happening? And I was holding my jog in one hand and a glass of wine in the other hand. I didn't know what to do. So I just put everything on the floor, and I started walking down the stairs. And as I'm walking down, I started looking. So there was red roses everywhere in the downstairs floor.
Oh, wow.
There was candles all around the house. And then I looked, there were a band, like a 5-piece
Oh
band.
my God.
Playing Amy Winehouse. That was my favorite song.
Yeah.
Adam was wearing a suit. And then I just look around, like everywhere I could look in the house, there were red flowers and candles. And then I just like, I didn't panic. I started like, I couldn't realize what was happening. As I'm walking down, I'm like, God, don't let me fall, because I stopped feeling my leg. I started holding the wall, and then I came down, and then so Adam got in one knee. He said a lot of like good things and intimate moment. And then he popped the question. And then I was like, I was crying at this time. I messed up the whole makeup and everything. So he went down one knee, and then he asked if I want to marry him. And I said, of course, yes. And then the band were playing. And then I was just like, it was so unbelievable. Like, it was like I didn't feel real for the next 3 days.
Wow. And he did this in 1 hour while you were upstairs.
He hired an event planner to do it.
Oh.
And wait, there's more. So we sit down to have wine, to have our dinner, right? Because I thought we were going to order food. There was, he hired like a chef. So the chef cooked, and then he made all the Brazilian food that I love. He made coxinha, empanadas, pão de queijo. He made all the Brazilian food I love, and the sweets. And then I was like, this is crazy. So I was like, he was like, do you want some wine? And I was like, yes. And then I looked at wine. This wine that we have, it was the 100 acres. 100 acres. I'm not sure if it's 100 acre or 100 acres.
Yeah.
But that's one of my favorite wine that that was the first time we had wine in my house in New York 3 years ago. First time he went to my house, I offered him the wine if he wanted to drink wine. He really didn't like wine. I opened the wine anyway, and then we started drinking wine, and then I left half bottle there because I had to fly. I was going to Europe for work, so I left the bottle there. And I didn't know that he knew, because Adam wasn't like a big wine drinker. Like I never thought he would pay attention to the bottle. And then he had the same bottle, same year, same everything there. And then he said, you remember this bottle? And I was like, of course I remember. It was the first wine we have together in my house. Anyway, fast forward. We were there, we danced a little bit, we ate, we drank. And then like after like 1.5 hours, that song comes up. We are family.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
So it comes up, and then I look at the door, and then the whole family.
Oh my God, no way.
All my friends from New York.
Oh.
So they flew here, and they were waiting in the garage.
Oh, this is
and
crazy.
Then the whole family came, and then my friends came, and I couldn't believe it. And then not the worst part, but the funny part was because in my mind, I thought it would be just, a regular date night. So I put this fucking dress. I love this dress, by the way.
Thank God.
This dress was very sexy because I thought it was just Adam in it.
No.
So the dress has a slip all the way up my ass. So I bend over to kiss grandma, and then my ass is outside. I was like,
That's so funny.
My God. But you just don't.
That's funny.
You don't know. Because that dress I wear just for Adam, I wouldn't wear for anybody else. So it was a very sexy dress, but nothing bad. It wasn't like crazy.
Right.
It was just a sexy dress. And then, all my friends from New York and some friends from San Francisco and from Chicago. So they were all here.
Thank God you said yes.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine?
No. No. Yeah. He had to be very confident to plan something like that.
Oh my God. He knew.
Right. That's a great story.
Yeah, so we danced the whole night, and then that's it. And then our friends stay here for like their weekend, like 3 other days, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And it was the happiest day of my life. That was the happiest day of my life. And then I was like, and then he looked at me, he's like, Dani, how you didn't, like, everybody was asking me, how you didn't realize what was going on? There were like 20 people in the house organizing, preparing everything, and you didn't hear a thing? And I was like, I had no idea.
Incredible.
No clue. I didn't hear a thing. I didn't come down.
I was going to say, good thing you didn't come down, but for some reason.
Because the only time that I was going to go downstairs, it was to walk my dog. But then Adam made sure he walked the dog, and he made sure his cousin is staying in the room with me so I wouldn't go downstairs. So I was just like, I'm the clueless person ever, because honestly, the way they told me that was what was going on downstairs, there were like 20 people putting, lighting the candles and putting the flowers and, making the food and the band and everything. And then I had no clue. I was just like, you know what? You can do whatever. I would never want to find out anything.
Incredible.
I'm just so clueless.
Yeah, what a great story. I've heard a lot of stories, but I think that's the most over the top.
That was insane. I have to show some pictures later. You wouldn't believe it. Like, there was no way for me not to know, but I had no idea.
That's wonderful. Well, I want to definitely, get into the details of your wedding. And, but one of the first things I was thinking, you've got this high profile career modeling, and so the public and the industry has expectations of you. Did you feel any pressure connected in terms of how you were going to celebrate your wedding, knowing that you've got this kind of, high profile career? Did that affect you in any way?
Not really, because in my whole life, I never wanted a big wedding, like 400 people, 500 people. And, Adam is a business guy, and he knows a lot of people. I am a model, like I know a lot of people. All the clients I've been working, all the people I know, all these people in my industry, I know them all. So it's just, we know a lot of people, and I never wanted to have like 500 people in my wedding, because Adam is the same. He never wanted a big, like huge wedding, because we want moments with people, and not only people there, because if you have a lot of people, you don't spend quality time with them. You just like say hello and you have to go because it's just so many people, right?
Right.
So I never had the pressure of that. Especially, I'm a very, like, my professional life is public, but
right.
My personal life is very private.
Yeah. And I know that you only had 80 people. So yeah that's definitely
80 people. Actually, if I'm not wrong, it was like 76. And then we just had like other, like, the assistant and then hair and makeup, but it was a very small wedding.
Well, and before, and I want to talk for a moment about how you chose where to go. But first of all, what about the bachelorette party? Where did you go for that? Because I saw some postings.
Oh my God, it was insane. So we went to Cabo.
Yeah, Cabo San Lucas.
We went to Cabo San Lucas. I got a villa there at the Chileno Bay, so I got a villa. And then I invited my friends, because I wanted to be part. Like, I didn't want, like, there's some things that I want to be part of, because I know how I like things, right? So I was like, thank you so much, but I want to be part of picking the hotel and their other things.
Sure.
Because I want to make sure, like, I stay in this place, or I like this place more than that one, right? So I got the villa, and then all my friends, they flew there. Most of us flew together. Then we arrived there. It was so fun because it was 10 of us. It was some of my friends, and I invited my mother-in-law, of course, because she's one of my best friends.
Well, now I realize why. Right. Because you knew her so well. Yeah.
Yeah. She was my friend before I even met Adam. So she was there. Like, I wouldn't do it without her. And then all my friends. So we flew all together. We went there. It was amazing. So it was 2 days. We actually booked for 3 days. And then I just got one back, because I was like, you know what, we're not staying here until Monday. Because the plan was we get there Friday, we stay Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and come back Monday morning. We just stay there. We left on Sunday because it was too much.
Yeah, that's
So we got
funny.
there. We had dinner every night. We went to the club. One of the days we got a boat, so we were wasted on the boat. So it was so fun. It was amazing. And they made it very festive. Like, my mother-in-law, she's very festive. So she loves to decorate things and, everything. So she makes everything festive. Like matching sweaters and like cute things that you just like, make it very, very festive.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah. So in terms of deciding where to get married, I heard, I don't remember who it was from, but I heard someone tell me that you and Adam were looking for a year. Is that right? You were just, kind of flying around looking for a place to get married. How did that process go?
So honestly, it was a very hard process for us, because in my mind, I've always wanted to get married in France, in south of France, in a castle. I never wanted to get married on the beach. I grew up in a city, so like the beach for me is like vacation. So it's just different what I have in my mind. I've always wanted to get married south of France in a castle, and I wanted to have like the princess vibe type wedding. So I always had this in my mind. When he proposed to me, I was like, okay, we're getting married in France. That's it. And we go from there. But because of COVID, everything got like very hard for us. And my whole family, I'm Brazilian. My whole family, they live in Brazil. All of them, they live in Brazil. And I was like, okay, fine. We went to Europe, and then we started looking for places there. We went to France, and then the main problem that we had in France and Italy was because we found amazing venues. And I found like these beautiful castles. There's like a Disney castle, like insane. But you found the venue, but the best hotel they have is like 1 hour away. And even the 5 stars hotel wasn't that nice. So we had to choose between, getting a very nice venue, but not a very nice hotel, or have a very nice hotel, but not like a good wedding venue, because, the castles, they like in the middle of nowhere, right?
Right.
So that was one of our main issues. So we start opening and, start looking everywhere. So I was like, what if we, let's look in Italy? And then we had the same problem. And then we started looking like other places, and then we went to Greece, and then we were like, okay, what if we open up a little bit and start looking? And then we start looking at the beach town to see if they have like, this not rustic, but like more rooms. Is that the word?
Uh-huh.
Rooms, yeah, because some beaches they have those type of buildings there. So we started like looking for everything. And I was like, it's impossible. We keep looking and changing our minds because it was just so hard. In my family, they cannot come to the United States, because if they could, it would be the easiest thing, right? We wouldn't find an amazing place here. They would all come here, and it wouldn't be amazing. It would be easier. We wouldn't have that many problems that we had. But my family, they can come here. Then they can't get visas.
Oh, right.
So then I found this amazing venue, and I was like, let's fly to France. So 2 days before we went to France to look at some of these venues, because I was like, wow, this venue is nice, and there's this beautiful hotel next to it. Then France released an announcement saying that they're not accepting Brazilians coming from Brazil.
Oh, geez.
Because, the Brazil situation with the vaccine
COVID,
was really bad.
Yep.
The president wasn't buying vaccines. So,
Right.
None of my family didn't want to take it. My family was dying to take it, but the president wasn't buying, so they wasn't getting it.
Yep.
So I was like, okay. And then the French government saying we're not accepting, honestly, they're right. We had all this bad year, all these people dying, and, we're going to accept anybody from anywhere without vaccine after, the vaccine was there. So I was very upset, because that was my only dream, actually. I was getting married in a castle in France, and we couldn't do that. So we canceled the trip, of course, because we didn't want to take any risk of planning the whole wedding, counting on the fact that, well, maybe, my family get vaccinated and then they end up never getting the vaccines, right?
Yeah, right.
So we changed, and then we went to Madeira in Dominican Republic. And actually, let me go back. Then we started looking at places that are accepting Brazilians with a negative COVID test instead of vaccine, because we wasn't sure that they would get a vaccine, right? So there were only 5 countries that were accepting Brazilians without the vaccine, only with a negative COVID test.
Oh.
Yeah, which was Albania, Colombia, Turks and Caicos, Mexico, and Dominican Republic.
I see.
Yeah. So we didn't want to do in Albania, because we never thought about it. We never wanted to do in Albanian. Colombia, Turks and Caicos, and Mexico are not very special, because, I work so much, and, Mexico is right here. So we go to Mexico all the time. We go for New Year's, we go for birthdays, we go for the weekend, we go when we have time. So it's not that special for us. Colombia, I've been there a few times for work. So I was like, if we're not going to do in France, we should do somewhere that we never been. Like, this is special, right? So we found DR, and then we found the Madeira hotel, which was one hotel that we really like. We love the Amman resorts. So we knew we were going to have a beautiful venue, and we knew there's going to be a very good hotel, right? So we booked a Madeira.
I want to be sure you know the wonderful news of our latest show, Stop and Smell the Roses, with acclaimed lifestyle and event design expert Preston Bailey. Not only will he share the secrets, tools, and technologies behind his extraordinary ability to create a theatrical environment out of any space, you will also discover more about the man behind the magic. Preston will reveal how his focus on personal growth has been the root of his professional success, and you'll have the opportunity for him to answer your questions along the way. Plus, Preston will be inviting onto the show many of the star celebrities he has worked with in the past, so you don't want to miss a single episode. We also have another great show on the Wedding Biz Network, The Business of Being Creative, with host Sean Lowe. Since debuting, his show has really taken off, and he's continuing to bring you the creative business advice he's shared with accomplished industry notables. Be sure to take advantage of Sean's talkback opportunity by recording questions and comments from right there in each episode's show notes. So, if you are a creative who is turning your craft into a business or want to take it to another level, head to theweddingbiznetwork.com and take a listen to Stop and Smell the Roses with Preston Bailey and The Business of Being Creative with Sean Lowe. That's theweddingbiznetwork.com. When you first envisioned your wedding and the style of it, I mean, you obviously like, things to be really romantic, like you were saying earlier. So what were you envisioning overall, just in terms of decor and floral design? I mean, did you have your own kind of images of what that would look like?
Yes, I've always had in my mind what I like and what I don't like. Like it's hard when you planning and then you're like, well, I want this. Like I knew what I like. I didn't know exactly what I wanted, but I knew exactly what I like and exactly what I don't like. So I had, in my mind, I've always wanted like a white wedding. I had some ideas with red, but then after that I cut off because I couldn't picture, red and white together. So I just did the red the first night. And then the wedding day was all white. Honestly, my wedding, I wouldn't change one thing. If I can get back in time, I wouldn't change one thing in my wedding.
Yeah.
It was perfect. It was more than what I expected. It was the wedding of my dreams.
Well, I feel very fortunate to have been there because I was producing the music for the ceremony and reception. So I was able to see all of this, and it really was beautiful. I mean, just the resort itself, Almanera, was stunning, so peaceful and beautiful.
Yes, it was perfect. There were a lot of things that we had to adapt. We had to adapt because of COVID and, the whole situation. But when when it started happening, I was freaking out because I didn't know how it would turn out. And then after the first day that we had our Parisian night, I was just like, you know what? I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about anything because I know it's going to be perfect. So then I relaxed and enjoyed the whole week.
Well, let's talk about the ceremony and the reception. So why did you choose? I mean, it's a beautiful song, but I'm curious, for you chose I Can't Help Falling in Love as you walk down the aisle. What did that song mean to you?
Well, that song, it's exactly how I feel about Adam. It's just, I can't help myself. I fall in love with Adam every single day over and over again. Since the day when I realized I was in love with him until today, I just keep falling in love. Every day I just fall more in love with him, the way he is, the man he is, the way he treats me, the amount of respect we have between us. And Adam, he always put a lot of effort in our relationship. He always pay a lot of attention and always Adam always pay attention to the little details and always made me feel like I am the best one. I am the woman of his dreams. I am the most beautiful, the most smart, the most everything. Like he made me feel that way. There are like hundreds of beautiful women out there, but he made me feel I am the most beautiful, the most smart, the most loving one.
Oh, now I see this. The song is so perfect with the lyrics.
Yes,
it's so perfect.
It really is.
And we've got to talk about your dresses. All right. So again, I was there. I was lucky to be there. I saw these stunning dresses and how beautiful you looked in them. Tell me about your process of choosing, starting with the gown.
Okay. So let me start because all of them, it was magic. So let me start with the first night. So I've always wanted to do in Paris, right? So we couldn't do in Paris. We went to Greece and then we couldn't do in Greece. Like we couldn't do Italy, like in Italy, we couldn't do anywhere. So we decided to do each day a different country, basically. We brought all these countries to Dominican Republic. So the first night was the Parisian night. The second day we partied during the day was the Greek day.
I heard that was wild.
That was amazing. So the third day was the ceremony. The fourth day was Dominican Republic goodbye, basically. And then everybody left on Friday. So the first day I wanted to be like old classic Parisian style. So I had this idea of having everybody wear white. And then all the decoration was red, like red Parisian, with velvet chairs and
stunning
red roses and a lot of candles. And we had like a band that played French music. We had caviar that night. So it was very, very nice. So everybody was wearing white, and then I showed up in red because that's what I wanted to do to, the decorations, and I was wearing red and everybody else in white.
Yeah, that's great.
That dress, it was custom made by Michael Costello. I don't know if you know him.
No, say the name again. I didn't catch it.
Michael Costello.
Okay, got it. Right.
He is amazing. He's an amazing designer. He's based here in California, Los Angeles. He's just amazing. So I just had this, I saw some dresses before and I knew exactly what I wanted. And I went there. I showed him some inspiration of what I wanted. And then he's like, Dani, you don't need to say anything else. So we did few fittings and then he made this dress. And I can send you all the pictures later because the dress is insane. So that was the first night. Then the second day, was the Greek day, the Mykonos day. So we transformed the restaurant by the beach in kind of like a Scorpions. What's the other one? The Principate or like something like this that they have in Mykonos there. So we had the breaking of the plate. So you take a shot and then you get to break one plate because that's a Greek tradition, right?
Right.
And we decorate everything in white and blue, and we had Greek food, and we dance on the table. You took shots and dance on the table, and that my look from that day was also custom made by I can't pronounce his name very correct, but he's ALBINA DYLA. I think that's how it's pronounced.
Do you know how to spell his name so people can know?
I can send you later. I don't know how to spell.
That's okay. Sure, we'll get it later.
So it was custom made by this. It was an Albanian designer, and I love his design. So I bought a lot of things from them. So they're great. So it was custom made. They made my set. And then the wedding day, the ceremony, I had 4 looks. I had 4 different dresses. So 2 of them, which was the main one, it's from Galia Lahav. Is a Israeli designer, and then he has a store here. He was the one that created. Basically, we created together. Like I told him everything that I wanted and how I like it and all these ideas I had, and then he created this masterpiece. Honestly, it feels like an art piece for me. Because I went to the store and then I tried some dress because I wanted to have that experience of trying different dresses. My mother-in-law was there with me and my friend, and I FaceTimed my family in Brazil. So we all did it together. And then I tried, and then I was like, I like this fabric. I don't like this fabric. I like this style. I don't like this style. I like the train, this one. I don't like this one. So I got to feel like to pick what I like, what I don't like. And then I sat down with him, and then we talked, and we did over and over a few times. So he, honestly, I never seen the most beautiful wedding dress. I never saw anything more beautiful than that one. Maybe because it's mine. Maybe, I'm just, like another crazy bride. But
I saw it. It was stunning. Stunning. You looked stunning in it.
I fell in love. I wanted something really dramatic, but also I wanted something dramatic. I've always had this in my mind. I want to feel like a princess, and I wanted something dramatic. But my thought always was I was being a castle in France, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, how are we going to do this on a beach place? And even that it was dramatic. My train was very long. It was as long as I could get without losing the shape of the dress. Because, if it's too long, it's just become like one long thing instead of round.
Yep.
So he made with silk tulle, which is like one of the, the most amazing fabrics you can have to like for that type of dress that I wanted. And then I also wanted my veil very, very long. And then it was just insane because it was tight. And then I basically like the top of one, the bottom of another one, the details of one, the details of another one. Like it was the experience that I had. It was amazing. He was amazing. He was in Israel we had like Zoom calls. And then he was showing me all the appliques and the fabric. And then, he was honestly, whoever is getting married, I suggest go first there. And if you don't find, then you go somewhere else, because not only the quality and the designers are amazing, but also they very, how can I say this in English? Like they very attentive, like they always there. Like I remember when I had some questions, we set up a call right away. It was like different time in Israel. They couldn't care less. They listened to me. We talk over WhatsApp. They send me pictures. They were there. Like no matter what, they were going to be there. Like and I was freaking out. I was like, I don't know. Do we have enough time? And they're like, Dani, you don't have to worry. Your dress is going to be ready the way you want. Even if you don't like, we're going to make another 500 dresses until you get the one you like.
Wow. Right. And I just looked it up. Galia, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but Galia Lahav.
Yes.
Incredible.
Yeah. And they just so caring and they pay so much attention, they get so close. They do their best, like, oh, you don't like this. It's not like you don't feel bad saying that you didn't like something.
Yes.
They're like, no, we get it. You don't like it. Oh, this looks like this. Okay, we get another one. You don't like this fabric. We get this one. Which fabric you want? You don't like, you want this long. Like they don't make you feel bad that you're changing the dresses, So my main dress wore that one and it was insane. I saved the dress. I'm going to say for the rest of my life.
Sure.
So we changed a few things. So it was a strapless dress with a long train, like a princess, and a very long veil.
Right.
And the appliques were like a 3D applique, so it's kind of like coming out of the dress. The second dress that I changed, it was also Galia Lahav. They made this, it was one sleeve dress, and then the slip was a little bit up here, so it was a little sexy, like my leg was up.
Yeah.
And that dress were very, very beautiful. It was one of my,
yeah, that was beautiful too. I saw that when you came in. Sure.
It was really beautiful. And with those dresses that I wore, you didn't need anything else. You didn't need crazy jewelry. You didn't need a lot of makeup. You didn't need crazy hair. Like, like how you just keep adding more and more. Like, no, with those dresses, those were the main thing. I just put earrings and then that's all what I wore because the dress were the main piece.
Yes. Yes.
So I had that dress was also Galia Lahav. And then the other two dresses that I wore were ALBINA DYLA, the Albanian brand that I love. Which was this dress. It was transparent and with a long, like kimono sleeves, I think they call. It's kind of like that. It was very long sleeves. And that one was for my first dance because Adam and I, we did tango as our first dance.
Right. And I think if I remember, I think it was Let's Stay Together.
Yes.
That's right. You danced a tango dance to that. Yeah.
Yes. We love that song. And we just practiced it. We did like some lessons. We got this instructor to come here and teach us. So she came, she was great. She teach us. We had we didn't have enough time. So we probably did like 4 or 5 lessons or even less than that. Literally just that part of the song for that song and for that only reason. So I had that dress for our first song and it was perfect because it was tight and it had like some things like hanging out. So when you dance, it's just like make a little drama.
Yes.
I can say.
Yeah.
And then I changed again for the after party, which was a short dress which was just like a sexy short dress, strapless, simple silver, but it was beautiful.
Incredible. Wow. Well, what about the honeymoon? Where did you go or the mini-moon? You had a mini-moon.
Yeah. So we did a mini-moon because it was just a lot of stress lately. And then, we had to fly to Dominican Republic a few times to, see things there and, see the chef. And if we need to bring our chef or with the chef there, could make what we wanted. And then, so we flew to Dominican Republic a few times and, between work and the wedding. So I had like a week before the wedding. A week before we flew to the wedding week, I had to fly to Acapulco for work. And then Adam went to New York, and then we went to Dominican Republic for a week. So it was just a lot of travels. So we just didn't want to do the full honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
Also because we wanted to do our honeymoon in Japan, and we didn't want to fly from Dominican Republic to Japan.
Oh my gosh. Right.
Yeah. So we decided to do a mini-moon around there, just, to kind of like after you finish the wedding, you just get there and wait for everything to come down. So we went to St. Bart's for 5 days.
Oh, wonderful.
It was great. We relaxed a lot. We couldn't drink because we drank so much in our wedding. So we went there, literally we're hanging out on the beach. We had dinners. We hang out more on the beach. We ate. That's all we did.
Oh, it sounds wonderful.
Yes. No, then we came back, and then the day before Thanksgiving. So we came, and then we had the whole family here. So we were just exhausted. Oh. And then we decided that we're going to do our honeymoon, a real honeymoon in Japan next year. When it's 1 year anniversary, we're going to do our honeymoon there.
Well, perfect. And hopefully COVID will be past and you'll be able to just go for it.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, just a couple more things before we wrap up. So I know that also Vogue magazine covered your wedding. Do you know when that's going to be published?
Well, it was because everything that happened, it was kind of on and off, on and off, on and off. We don't know when we're going to do it. We don't know where, because of everything that we had throughout the wedding, we were talking to Vogue, and then Vogue, because how it worked, I guess, they plan everything, what they're going to release for the week, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
But because of everything that happened, they couldn't plan because we didn't know when the picture, I don't know actually how it happened, but it was okay, we're going to pitch Vogue. We're going to get Vogue. We're going to get Vogue. And then Vogue were well, I have everything planned. I cannot do anything right now. We will have to wait until this day. And then it was too long. And then I thought we would have to just wait. And I was look, I'm not going to wait for a month to release the pictures of my wedding. I can wait a week, but I'm not going to wait more than that. So, because, they have to be the first ones to release, if I'm not wrong.
That's right. I wondered about that.
I'm actually not sure what happened, but that's what I think happened. And there's look, I'm not going to be waiting for a month to release the pictures of my wedding. I'm going to do it now. And, if they want to, do the pictures later, they can do. If not, it is what it is. So honestly, I have no idea what happened. I just released the pictures of my wedding because I couldn't wait anymore.
Yeah, I saw some pictures. Yeah.
Yeah. So they wanted exclusivity.
Sure.
So I honestly, I'm not sure what happened. Vogue was going to release, but then I just couldn't wait for a month.
Yeah.
And then I was I'm doing this and that's it. I don't care. I just want to post on my Instagram. I want to send to everybody and not have to worry about who's going to, repost or post first. Because, a lot of people, they release after, all the other magazines and other people, they just oh my God, Daniela got married. And then they just release. But honestly, I have no idea what happened.
Oh, all right. Well, so before we go, the last question, what are you excited about, Daniela, for 2022? With your career and everything else, what are you looking forward to?
Well, I have a lot of plans, and, our apartment in New York is going to be ready. So it's going to be ready in February. So I'm looking forward for that. I have some jobs booked for this year already that is going to be very, very good for me in my career. Some of them I'm going to shoot in January. Some of them is going to be February. I have some covers coming up this year. I have David Yarrow coming up this year. So it's going to be an art piece that is going to be selling, auction and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. He's amazing. His last artwork that I was in was sold in Art Basel for $200,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it was with the Wolf of Wall Street. So that's amazing. It's just an art piece that is there forever.
Yeah.
You buy those as a collector,
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm looking for a lot of things right now. I want to maybe a baby this year.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So I'm looking forward. I have some other things. I'm learning French. I'm passionate about it. I'm learning to play piano. So I have like some good things coming up.
Yeah. Well, Gus, this has been a blast hearing all about your wedding. I mean, thank you so much for sharing so much about it. It's really wonderful.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm excited. I love to talk about wedding.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I can't wait to release this. Well, thank you, Daniela. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to my interview of Dani Braga. You could check out her website at danybraga.com. That's DanyBraga, danybraga.com. You can find her on Instagram at Daniela and on Facebook at Braga Dani. You can find all of this, don't worry, it's all in the show notes at theweddingbiz.com. And I want to mention next week's episode, which is going to be with Gina Esposito and Sheena Meekins, photographers with Ane Atelier, and they happen to be the photographers who shot Dany and Adam's wedding in the Dominican Republic. So that's a real fun one. So be sure to subscribe also to The Wedding Biz on Instagram, in particular at The Wedding Biz, and we'll catch you next week.